Hello, welcome to the Astral Sorcery 1.12 mod spotlight. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through this whole mod in one video. So it's going to be just one video for the whole mod. Got all these new textures. It's going to be pretty awesome. Every single feature of this mod is going to be in this video. Okay, so here we have some marble. Okay, so a few things you can do with marble. Place them like this. Get a marble pillar. Do this. We can get some chiseled marble. We can do this. Place the chiseled marble in the center. Get some engraved marble. Okay, there's a couple more. So we do a chiseled here. A couple of pieces of marble here. Going to get runed marble. 4 pieces will get you bricks. And 3 across get you the arch. So here you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different marble blocks. Additionally, placing a piece of coal in the center of 8 marble will create a sooty marble, and you can find that each of these 7 blocks are in the sooty marble form. It's the difference between reflective and absorptive. There's also a couple of more blocks which are exclusive to only the regular marble, the stair and the slab. Now let's gather some basic resources. These small sections will provide aquamarine, gold and iron. We'll speak more about this, but first let's gather some resources. So these are the shrines. They're small. You can also find them in the desert. And we can see this time we found some constellation papers. And you can see this becomes Armara. As soon as this becomes Vicio. You can see you memorize the drawing of Armara. You add a tab to the Astral Tome. And again, we'll speak more about this in a moment. Let's have a look in this shrine. Nothing here. Get a Vorcio there. And Decidia. Here in this ravine we can see the natural spawning of marble. Flat, shallow pools of water such as this are very useful for finding this, the aquamarine shell. And we can see, once we break the shell, we're going to get aquamarine gems. Here at Y level 21, I've found an unusual structure. Let's see what we have in this one. Awitas. Cool. We've got this one. Nothing. Okay. Okay, so if you do lose your Astral Tome, I won't be looking at it here, but I'm just going to tell you how to get it back. You just do this to get some parchment, and you do some aquamarine here, and a book in the center, and that'll get you another Astral Tome. So the next thing you want to do is make a resonating wand. This is to pinpoint the location underground where you'll find rock crystals. The crafting recipe is like so. And you can see this is sort of the stuff you find. Now you'll notice it doesn't work. The reason it doesn't work is because what you actually need to do is you need to place your crafting table down near to a ruins structure. Now we've seen the shrines previously. This structure is a ruins though. And if you go down into the ruins, you'll find this area, okay? And again there's another chest here. And we've already got all 5 constellations, so we don't need to do that again. But you can see there's also this floating crystal here. So if we place this down, and instead of doing the craft up there, do it here, what we'll find is we can actually make it. So there we go, we can make the resonating wand. Okay, if you hold the resonating wand at night, what you can do is you can see these plumes of white light coming up from the ground. And what that's actually doing is it's directly pointing you towards where you'll find rock crystal ore. So for instance, so there's obviously multiple ones right here, right next to the ruins actually. So if we look down here, we can see indeed there's a rock crystal here. So we can just take a pickaxe and we'll be able to get a rock crystal or two. And there we go. And you can see. So just something to point out about this floating crystal. This is providing starlight. So this is connected to the stars in the sort of mythos, right? And it's providing starlight to the crafting table, which meant I could craft the resonating wand. In order to get to the next stage, we need to harness the power of the stars again, right? So we need to make the next structure, which is the luminous crafting table. So let's do that then. We've got to have 6 marble here. We're going to have sooty marble, and we're also going to have a crafting table. And that's going to craft the luminous crafting table. Okay, so that's the end of this first chapter. Okay, so when placing your luminous crafting table, you have to be aware of the amount of starlight. Now, for instance, I placed my first crafting table over here. We can see that the amount of starlight is indicated by this bar is very, very low. So you might think, well, it's maybe this whole area has got low starlight. But if I click on this one, you can see I've got significantly more starlight. And even though this is still not much, it's still going to be a little bit better. One thing I will also point out, it's not related to the proximity of the luminous crafting table to the floating crystal. Because you see this one's got less. So this is the one that I'm going to use. And I'm actually going to begin by doing something like this. Okay, so we'll take the resonating one now and right click on it. And what will happen is it will actually appear. So this is the grindstone. Okay, let's take a look at this rock crystal. So now we've got some information about them. 254 and the cutting is 28. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some of these other rock crystals over here. So we've got the one we want here. Do that. I'm just going to right click just a couple of times. So we had 254 and 28. So we'll shift right click to get it back. Let's see what it says now. So now it's got 184 and 43. Okay, so what's actually going on is the cutting ability is getting better. Okay, so say I've got another one then. So we want it. We obviously the size will be reduced, right? So then, so this one has got 2, 3, 5, and 27. So I'll put that in. Give it a couple of spins. So we've got about. So we could probably make this one actually. Maybe do a couple more spins on this. Shift right click to take out. Maybe a couple more spins on this. Shift right click to take it out. It's got 146, 52, 55 and 40. Okay, so what we might want to do is we might want to try to increase the size of the crystals because they're getting pretty small at this point. So for that what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make something called a light well. The crafting recipe for this is like so. And we'll just use one of the crystals, which is probably not going to use. So there we go. You can see this is how you make the light well. Obviously, I've already made it. Let's just remove this one. Take this one instead. Okay, so once we have the light well, we can do a couple of things with it. Put aquamarine in there. And you can see this is going to begin to accrue liquid starlight. Another thing you can do with the light well, which is put in some rock crystals as well. Okay, so we've got a rock crystal here. So it basically does the same thing. It's going to turn this into a liquid starlight. It's going to take the power of the stars, convert them into liquid. Okay, so the aquamarine just broke actually, so we're going to need to put another one in there, about half full. But this rock crystal is still going well. So what we might want to do is try to create a sword. And you can see that these are the crystals I had, but you can see that it's asking for considerably more starlight than we're going to need. So we're going to solve that problem in a moment. But one thing we can do is so we've got the size, so we may want to increase the size, right? So the way it works is that if we want to increase the size, the cutting power may suffer. So what we can do, we can take the liquid starlight, okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place, so we've got 146 and then 1952. Okay, so let's put that in. Okay, make sure we do it, put it in. There we go. So we're going to leave that in there for a moment. Okay, that's going to be a problem. So let's get some more. You can see that actually you can take quite a bit of liquid starlight. Let's try to craft something called the bozek resonator. So this may be the way to actually get round the problem. So we're going to need a liquid starlight for this. I'm also going to need an aquamarine. This is going to create the bozek resonator. So let's make the bozek resonator. So what this is going to do is this is going to help to find an area which is going to be more suitable, which has got more starlight basically. Okay, this is interesting because what's happened, I was kind of hoping that I might be able to find this location near to this woodland mansion that I found. And even though it's quite hard to discern, normally it'll be a bit easier to discern this because it would be like a blue globulous light. But if you may just be able to notice there's a little bit of a brighter patch right about here. You can kind of see it actually from low on the ground. So if I place the luminous crafting table down now, what you're going to see is if we go to good time on this, you can see we've got it's almost all the way full, and that's pretty good. So that will actually be able to be enough, I think, or we could just place it a few blocks higher to get the crystal tool. So let's do that. Let's bring some stuff over, and I think we're going to start working from this area now. Okay, so I transferred over that crystal. Remember, it was 146, 19, and 52. Okay, so this is a different one. Let's I put it in the liquid starlight here, and it seems to dissolve the liquid starlight. So let's see what we got here. And then, so 146, 19, and 52. So the size has gone up. So the size has gone up to 213. The cutting is still 52. So it's just increased the size. Okay, so what we could then do is we could put it back in the grindstone to increase the cutting. But what I want to do is I think I want to actually see if I can craft something, right? So we've got the area that we want to be in now. So let's see if we've got enough now to. So we've got a decent amount of starlight here. So let's see if we can make the sword. Let's use this one, right? So we can see we just need a touch more. Unfortunately, there is a solution for that. Okay, so now we want to make something called the glass lens. So the glass lens is used in making both the telescope and the item that we want to make now, which is the spectral relay. Okay, so for this you need 4 panes, and you're going to need a aquamarine in the center. And here we go. So we have a glass lens now. Okay, so then we put the glass lens in the center. We put some nuggets here, gold nuggets, and then we're going to put some planks there and a piece of marble there. And this is going to make the spectral relay. Okay. Okay, so we make this structure with the chisel, the marble arch, just a 3x3 with some city marble underneath the spectral relay. Let's have a look at what we've got. So we've got this is daytime at the moment, so obviously a small amount in here. If we put in the glass lens and see a substantial amount, this can actually get you a few things, right? And so yeah, that's pretty cool. So let's take that out again. Let's see if we can make this sword, shall we? So I'm going to put it on tonight. This is obviously just the beginning of the night, so it's not going to be great. So we try to make this. Let's see if we can do it. See, a fair way to go. Let's see if we can boost that with the glass lens. And you see quite easily. So the night has literally only just begun, and we're already at full. I mean, pretty close to full, and that will obviously, you can see it's about to be full. So very, very good way of getting a little extra if you don't have enough. So then we could just hit this with the resonating wand. But yeah, so yeah, this is just a good way to get a bit more in terms of. And here we go. We've now got the crystal sword, and you can see it's got. So I think it's an average of the stats from the 2 crystals. And the good thing about this is you can also use the liquid starlight. I don't think you can go beyond what its original rock crystals are, but you can use the liquid starlight. Its cutting ability may go down if the size goes up, things like that. Okay, let's try and increase this damage of the sword, because the attack speed is pretty good. If you look at a normal sword, all these attack speeds are 1.6. This attack speed of 3 is pretty good. Attack damage of 4.5 is worse than iron. It's actually worse than stone. So let's see if we can sharpen the blade a little. We'll just do 2 maybe. So now we've got an attack damage of 6.04. So that's going to be better than iron. But we have to be careful we don't destroy. The size is still 216, so let's try putting that back in. 1, 2. Okay, so now we've got. So now this is better than a diamond sword. So that's pretty cool. It's a lot better because the attack is higher. You see, the size is really starting to go down. The cutting is starting to go up. So let's do 1 more. I think I'd be comfortable doing. And we'll go 1 more, and then that will be it, I think, because I'm not sure exactly when it's going to break. But you see, the size is down to 99 now, but the attack damage is up to 8.57, and the attack speed is 3. So this is actually a very strong sword, and yeah, so I think it'll be the same with a lot of the other tools. But yeah, so essentially, what you get is a very fast sword, which is more powerful than a diamond sword, which has got more attack damage than a diamond sword. Okay, so you can also make this thing, the looking glass. This is a way to use what we saw with the constellations and to try to discover them. So I'm going to do 2. So we've got 5, so let's do 2 here. So the first one then, we'll look into the night sky, and you can see you get this this kind of environment here. And you can see that we've got constellation here. So all you have to do is you just connect up the points of the constellation. Always try to be quite accurate with it, and as long as you know what the constellation looks like, it should work out fine. Okay, so there we go. There is Vicio. Okay, so that's Vicio. That's swiftness. Okay, so we'll get on to the other stuff a bit later. So okay, so we're going to move on to the final things from the chapter. By the way, this is Vicio. So this is so Vicio is swiftness, and there's a swiftness potion there just to indicate what it is. Okay, so here we're going to get something called illumination powder. You've actually seen it already because I've been showing it throughout the episode. I've sort of included it a little bit. Now, if we take the illumination powder, we put coal here. We take an ink sac and lapis as well. We're going to get this. And this is nocturnal powder. And what this does is... Okay, let's talk about these powders. So illumination, like you may have seen, just lights up the area and it creates this. This one, though, will actually create mobs. So let's have a... It's an interesting place I'm doing it, isn't it? I suppose. Let's put it right here. Okay, so I believe it will just create just... yeah, so it creates this sort of very nice smoky effect, and it dissipates and get mobs. Let's try another one. I'm going to try. Sometimes you get invisible mobs as well, which is quite cool. Try another one. So I've got a witch that time. And And one more. So it seems to instantly spawn the mob, and then it dissipates after a few seconds. Okay, one final thing to mention in this chapter is the cave illuminator. It's made with some of the illumination powder, some aquamarine and some rude marble. And what it will do is it will literally light up all the areas underground. So any area that is dark, it will automatically light up. It will just go through the whole lot. It's a pretty cool effect actually, and it's a really useful thing for spawners, or if you're on an island perhaps, if you want to get spawns to a certain location. With the illumination powder as well, it's actually quite difficult to get rid of it. I haven't found a way. You just place a block and it will go.